Thanks everybody for hopping on the call tonight. I've asked Sara to kind of let the team know a little bit about her story and how she started with Beachbody, and then her transition from a customer with Beachbody to a coach, and how she has found her stride and really dug into her passion in the last 90 days, and how that has given her a great foundation for her business. She's going to share some of her story and then a lot of her tips for success with the team. So, Sara, I guess I'll just let you take it from here.
So thank you. I just want to say thank you that I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy that you wanted to hear my story, because this has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So I'm Sara, and I live in Vermont. I became a coach with Alora this March, and Alora, God bless her, spent about 2 years trying to convince me that I would be a great coach. And, she just was always supportive no matter what. Alora and I go back much farther than March, however, because we've known each other for, it's over 10 years because it's been, in 2006 is when I graduated. So I know it's been at least that long. We ran track together at the University of Southern Maine, and we have just been able to keep in touch through social media ever since. And I just watched Alora's awesome journey as she started through Beachbody, and then just admired her the whole way. It took me a long time to decide it was the right choice for me, because I was a real skeptic. And, I was always a runner, so I just didn't think that at-home workouts would ever really give me what running gave me, even though so was Alora, and it was obviously giving her more than what running gave us. But that's besides the point, because I'm here now, and over the last 90 days, I have literally learned what the meaning of the saying is, that if you really love what you're doing for work, it does not feel like work. And although I'm a nurse and I do still work as a nurse, I plan to go full-time with Beachbody eventually, and that's what I'm working towards. So I just really hit the ground running. I tried to do my best to become a student of the team that Alora's been building for the last 3.5 years, and as well as looking up things on the Beachbody website. I mean, this business gives you all of the tools you need for success, but you have to be willing to find them. You have to be willing to use them. And you have to be a product of the product. Like, that just goes without saying. You can't expect people to want to follow you in something if you're not doing it every day, or mostly every day. And obviously you don't have to be perfect in everything, but that's basically how I went into it 90 days ago. And I do love competition, so anything that provides an incentive drives me a little bit. I think that I have more enjoyed the part of finding myself in this and finding out what makes me really happy. And as a nurse, I help people all the time, but it's not always a positive experience. This coaching people into getting healthy has been 110% positive every single day. And every day gets better. Not only do I get better with myself, with my personal development, but, like the vital behaviors that Beachbody preaches. If you do those vital behaviors, you will be successful. And they're not hard. You just have to be committed. You have to be committed to yourself. You have to be committed to the people that you're coaching. And you have to, be committed to wanting to be the best that you can be every day. And that is so awesome to me. And that just makes me feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be in this. And, I've luckily gotten involved with a gold mine of uplines. So, we're on a really, really awesome team. And I tell everyone that joins as a coach with me that we are so lucky, because everything that they've learned is in files, or they talk about or they're willing to hand over. You know, Alora is my upline, but Jamie also helps out with information. She, you know, is always posting and will answer questions, and you just have to be willing to reach out to people. You know, just like you're reaching out to people to join you, you have to be willing to reach out to people who clearly know what they're doing. And that's been awesome for me. So that's kind of how I got started, and those have been some of my tactics for the last 90 days. I honestly can't tell you how important it is to just do the little things. Like I've been an athlete my whole life, and every time I've been in a sport, I have always been the one that just does like the best at the basics, and it gets me far. And that's kind of how I'm looking at coaching. Like I just try to stick to the basics that I know. And of course my knowledge is growing every day, but you know, making sure that I'm inviting people, making sure that I'm posting and being a product of the product, making sure that I'm following up with people. Like I've only done this for 3 months, but I'm telling you, people that I talked to in the first month that weren't ready to order, like right before we got on this meeting, I just checked my office and I was at Success Club 16. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder what happened. You know, it's July or June 29th. And I was like, I thought that it was over this month. And like, you just can't ever think it's over because it's not, you know. And I looked back and it's someone that I had sent a link to through the Coach mobile website, like my first week. And I was like, oh, awesome. You know, so you can't give up on it. You know, people come back to you. And I had one person order for me in the first month, Shakeology. She canceled the second month. And then she just messaged me this month and she's like, I got to get back on it. I miss it. You know, she's like, you're doing so great. So it like the follow-up process, I cannot tell you how important that has been for me. One of the things that I do, so I'm kind of old school. I love to be organized, and I make lists. I'm a Virgo, that's my zodiac sign, and we're known to list things. So I just wanted to like show you a quick little glimpse of what my notebook looks like. See? And it has like their name and when I talk to them, and I follow it by month. So I have a whole couple pages for April and then May and now June. And I plan to go back when I feel like I'm at the end of my rope and I don't know where to go, or I need some Success Club points. I plan to go back and look at those people that need follow-ups that I may have already tried to follow up with, but that I didn't hear from, and just try to touch base with them to make sure that they're not thinking that I'm forgetting about them. And so that's one of my things that I have made up. And it's still on paper, and I know you can make a Microsoft Excel thing, but honestly, I just like to write it down because I feel like that makes me really remember it. And, you know, that's what helps me. You just kind of have to find what helps you. And you'll learn along the way little things. And Alora can attest to this. I've messaged her at 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. and I'm like, oh my God, somebody wants to sign up. What do I do? You know, or it's like some circumstance. And I try to answer people when I can. You know, my family and my work has to come first. But it just, you know, like Alora's been so great to be able to mentor me through things. And that's how I've learned how to do it. You know, I've just gone and tried to do it. And then if I don't know the answer, I know Alora probably does. And if she doesn't, then I know we'll figure it out together. So those are some of the things that I've done. And does anybody have any questions or anything?
Let me unmute everybody. Christine,
Can you hear me?
can you hear us? Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good.
Yay.
All right.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Where do you find, or how do you get inspired every day?
So a lot of different places. So one of the things that I have struggled with is figuring out what my brand is, because a lot of people, I'm 34, a lot of people my age have kids, you know, or they're, you know, like Alora has her horses and she's gardening, And I don't have a lot of things that I think are like cool things right now. You know, I'm a nurse, I work a lot, and I have my 2 dogs, and I love my husband. But those are not always things that are going to like draw people in all the time to want to get fit. So one of the things that I do is I follow a lot of Diamond and above coaches, and I kind of try to take cues from what some of them are doing. And what I do is I take their posts and I kind of try to put my own spin on it and put what my life, how my life attains to that kind of a post. Another thing that I do to get inspired is I've been listening to a podcast that Alora sent to me in the very beginning by Bob Heilig. And sometimes just like one sentence that he says will just set me off. And I'm like, oh, and I just write a note in my phone, and then I, you know, take a selfie. I've become like such a selfie queen. I never was like this before, like ever in my life, but I kind of like it. Snapchat filters helped me in the beginning because I was a little bit nervous about it. So I would just Snapchat filter it. And then I was like, okay, so I have a weird nose and some ears. So then it's not that big of a deal if it's a weird picture. So, and I kind of gotten over that. I've gotten past that a little bit, which is great. And yeah, so I just try to pick up on everyday things that I'm doing. And, you know, sometimes during my workouts, I will be like sweating to the most. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, you can do 5 more. And I just do 5 more. And I'm like, I did better today than I did yesterday. And that'll sometimes inspire a post. And you just have to really get in touch with yourself and why you're doing this and what your journey has been so far. You know, mine's only been 3 months. So I don't have like a huge long history or any trips to tell people about yet, but I'm going to. And so those are, you know, like you just have to really look inside yourself and realize why you're doing certain things and why you're here.
I have another question. Can you talk about your transition into social media? Because you weren't always on social media.
So I was kind of a behind the scenes social media user before this. And like Alora will tell you, I have deactivated my account and sometimes only went Instagram and sometimes did none. And one of the reasons I did that is because I just wasn't feeling great. I wasn't feeling great about myself. I didn't want to watch sometimes what other people were doing, or I felt I was spending too much time and not working on myself. But how I've transitioned into this is that I've learned that I need to like share what I'm doing. I need to show people that it works. I need to let everyone that's in my network know how happy I am about this and how much it means to me. And, you know, we're lucky to have social media to do this. I can't imagine what it was like to be a Beachbody coach before social media, like before the boom of social media. You know, it must have been like, I don't know, door-to-door sales must have been crazy back in the day. So, but yeah, I've really just had to look outside the box a little bit and know that I'm doing this for a purpose and, you know, be more confident. And Beachbody has definitely brought my confidence back to me, which I thought I had before, but I don't know where it went for a couple of years. And that's why I say this is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I have never been happier. So,
Christine or Jamie, do you have any questions?
Well, not yet. No, I mean, I'm just taking in this video experience too. Like, this is my first video conference, so
yeah,
I don't know. It's awesome. You're doing so great, and that is awesome. Like, you're an inspiration for me. I started in October, and I felt like I needed to get myself to this place to where I felt I was ready to show or talk about Beachbody to people, because I didn't feel physically ready to, you know, like start telling people about it until just recently. But I don't know, like,
and you know what? I have a few people on my team that are discount coaches, and that's exactly how they have told me that they feel. You know, that they say that they would like to consider actively coaching, but you know, they want to lose their weight before they do it. But you know what? I honestly think that you don't have to be at your whatever your goal weight or goal figure is, because I think people really appreciate the realness of going through the process. You know, you can really attract a whole market of people just by, you know, I'll tell you, when I put up my first result picture, I was sitting on my bed. So I had this picture done for like 2 or 3 days, and I was sitting on my bed and I showed it to my husband about umpteen times. He was sick of looking at it. He was like, whatever, just post it. And I was like, I can't. So he went to work one day and I had the day off. And so I was sitting on my bed and I had sweaty armpits legitimately down to my hips. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm about to put this picture on Facebook, because it is hands down. Okay, I had just come back from a week of eating donuts every day in Florida. So it was the worst picture I've ever probably taken of myself. But at the same time, I was like, this is the only way to prove that how much progress I've made, because I've been a runner all my life. Everybody thinks that I'm just this tall, skinny person because I wear baggy clothes now and they don't know. And so I just need to do it because I need to show everyone why I'm doing this, you know, how great I feel. I look better, you know, I'm healthier. And that was like the boom. It, you know, like it went off. Everybody was like, I can't tell you how many people said, oh my God, I never knew you looked like that under your clothes. And I was like, yeah, so I did. So, you know, and it was really hard for me. But since then, it has spoken to so many people. I realized how important it is to be a product of the product. So that's my thing.
When you say that you have like your prospects, you know, that you go back from April or whatever, and you follow up with them, like where are you getting them from? Like from your online Facebook, or these people that approached you? Did you approach them?
So some of all of those things. Every time I have a legitimate conversation with someone about who I feel is actually interested in what we're doing, I write it down, I put the date, and I write a short little thing about what the topic was. And I go back to it when I feel like I'm at the end of my road for, you know, if I have a couple posts that nobody has liked or something, I'm like, well, I got to go try something different, you know? And, you know, that's how I follow up. It's pretty simple process because I'm still new at this. So, you know, I also am still learning what works and what doesn't work. And I'm sure probably Laura can tell you she probably does that too, you know, and Jamie, I'm sure that you guys also, sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And, you know, you just kind of have to roll with the punches as they come. And yeah, so so I got mine from my Facebook, mostly people that I knew. I did open my Facebook page up to be public. So how I find friends is through my friends who are not under other Beachbody coaches. I look under their friends, and if we have, you know, at least 5 people in common, I request their friendship, because the worst thing that can happen is they can not take it. And then that's fine. You know, if they don't want to be my friend on Facebook, it's not going to hurt my feelings because they're part of my cold market. I don't really know them anyway, but it's just like, you know, they're close to knowing me, or I'm close to knowing them, you know? And most people just accept your friendship. And I've gotten quite a few conversations at least out of that, if not sales. So, and I also use Instagram, and Instagram is a lot easier to get following, I think. But for me so far, I don't really get a whole lot of content or constructive leads off Instagram yet. Okay. So I'm just building, but I think everybody's different. I think it just depends on how your market is. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Ainsley.
Past my bedtime.
I know, I heard.
She came down 3 times while you were talking.
Well, you're singing the other day.
Was called to hop on, so.
4 times actually.
Oh, sorry, 4 times actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Jamie or Ashley, do you have any questions?
Take night, everybody.
Good night, Laura. Good night, Christine.
Ashley.
I'm jealous. Ashley's like in the sun already, driving in the sun. We're like all in the dark over here.
She found the only ray of sunshine.
Is that the little girl's name, Ashley?
No, Ashley's driving.
Oh, she's
Gotta
actually
be in the
driving.
last ray of sunshine.
You might not be able to see her.
It's actually completely overcast. Like there's not a little bit of sky showing anywhere.
Oh,
I don't know where like the light is coming from.
Where is she that it's light out still?
Michigan, I think. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's all kinds of cloudy, so
That is
there's
crazy.
sunshine.
The other thing that I'll say, Christine, is that when I am following up with people, I forgot this part. I just looked at my notes and I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot this part. And it's really important for my success so far. So when somebody messages me, I have a Word document that I've saved some of my conversation starters, is what I called it, in. And some of them are for people who have liked my posts, and then I have another one for people who have actually sent me a message. And I just copy and paste and then fill in the information that I need to, like their name or hey lady or something like that. I noticed that you liked a picture, one of my pictures of my progress or a challenge group, whatever they've liked. And then, I have a little paragraph that gets sent to them, and then I get a lot of responses from that. And so once I start following up with them, I don't talk price at all. I just start off by asking them about themselves and ask what they're doing, what they're looking for, what do they have questions about my post. And I try to hold off on any price talk until the very end. And I make sure that when I say the challenge pack, which I feel is such a great value at $160 anyway, but I make sure I tell them that they're getting over 600 workouts for $30 with a purchase of Shakeology, which is $130, which is, if you sign up as a discount coach, less than $4 a serving. Almost everybody buys something every day that's more than $4. So that puts it into perspective for people, and they're like, oh, it's not that expensive. And, I think it's just people get sticker shock immediately when they hear anything over 100 for, what they think is just a shake at the time, because they don't really know. So I always add in the per serving cost, and that seems to be a lot less scary for people. And, I can't tell you how many people have said, oh my God, that's not that much. So, I hear a lot of people say how they're like, oh, it's so expensive. I get all these people telling me it's so expensive. But I think if you just break it down a little bit differently, and spend the time getting to know them so they don't think you're right off the bat just trying to sell them something, because we're really not. We are selling things, but in the meantime, we're trying to build a network of people that want to be healthy and, grow as a team. So it's not just like a cell phone salesperson, they just want to get the cell phones off the shelf. We're not really doing that. And if you look at it like that, I think you'll have a lot more success with selling things, because people don't feel like you're just selling. So that's it. Okay.
Anything else from anybody?
I have a quick question. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we recording this?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So my question is, if you've already talked about this, then you don't need to answer it. But what is your, ratio of discount to working coaches? Because you're at Diamond right now, right, Sarah?
Yes. So I have almost all discount coaches.
Okay.
And I signed up my husband with Shakeology. And then my first month goal was to pay for my Shakeology and his Shakeology.
Okay.
And, that's still ultimately my goal every month, is to pay for our Shakeologies and then also hit Success Club 5 at least. And then my mom signed up with Shakeology with the challenge pack, and I was able to get a couple of discount coaches under her as well. So that's how I got to Diamond level. And I'm just coaching all the people that I put under them too. I just keep, they're under their accounts, but I tell the people, you're going to get an email that says my mom's email and address on it, but I'm just doing that as team building. And I'm still your coach. And you'll still get all your other messages from me. And nobody has minded that at all. So.
And have you, or does your husband and your mom drink Shakeology?
Yes. My husband actually is in all of my challenge groups, and he does some posting. We're working on getting him to post a little more often, but he's a carpenter. He works a lot, and he posts. He takes his Shakeology with him to work, and if he thinks of it before he downs it, then he takes a picture and posts it. He would like to eventually work a little bit as an active coach. But I think that we're going to try to build my base up a little bit more, and then we'll have a little bit more leeway to be able to build his up as well. And then my mom does drink Shakeology every day, and she just started UV2. My mom is 78, so
That's awesome.
So she's really cute, and she loves the guy on UV2, which I don't know. It's just not my thing. I love Shanti, so that's
Go mom.
Yeah. But my mom is doing some of the things, but basically she's doing it for her own self, and I'm running her account with some discount coaches.
Gotcha.
I did have to be a little choosy about who I put under them because I want to hold my Diamond status, so I didn't want to just put anyone who was a discount coach. I do have to say that most of my challenge packs have been discount coach signups, because why wouldn't you want to get a 25% discount when there's no requirements except for monthly Shakeology? Right. So as soon as somebody tells me that, okay, I'm good to go, I want to sign up, how much is Shakeology every month? I say, well, there's a bunch of different options. So if you want to get I start out with the highest cost, and then I go down to the lowest cost, which is as a discount coach. And I know that the last thing you say usually is what sticks in people's heads. So, and obviously getting a 25% discount, who doesn't want that? And once you break it down like that, most people say, oh yeah, I'll go for the discount. And then they get in the challenge groups and they're like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I have a couple people, this is only my third month, but I have a couple people already saying that they would really, really like to coach someday when they're ready. So
Awesome.
That's kind of how I work it. I don't know. That's how I've gotten it to be pretty good so far. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I gotta run. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. So I'll end the meeting. Sara, thank you so much for sharing your story and really just kind of enlightening us on your success and what's been working for you. We all appreciate that. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure.